What's up, world? What's going on? It's your main man. Right back at that ass again. Here's another one. Just want to make this brief video, man. This is going to be about kind of a spinoff of what I've been talking about the whole time. In some of my other previous videos about the ghetto diesel dykes, and the for black women, every day is Halloween. I want to talk more about how the black women's attitude originated and how it's been perpetuated throughout the years. So first and foremost, I think most of us know, most of my audience, because I'm starting to get a lot of comments, and I thank you for all, I thank all the new subscribers that have come aboard. But some of what I'm starting to say has affected women. Somehow females have found my channel, and which is a good, can be a good and bad thing. But I like a smaller audience, and with brothers, I can kind of talk to and reach them through logic. Females is mostly emotional. So, but it's good. I mean, I welcome females and males who want to comment on my channel and be respectful. That's cool. But I'm starting to get a lot more angry females as of late, especially angry black females. They do the name calling and things of that nature and insulting me, and that's fine, man. I'm used to that. I know they hate themselves. A lot of black females, so of course, they're gonna hate me as well. Anything that's black, they hate, and I get it. As long as they're halfway respectable, man, I don't have a problem with it. But anytime you talk about a black female to a black female, or you say something that you may not be talking directly to them personally, but it's something that they do. It's a bad habit that they contribute to or that they do. They'll make every and any excuse in the world about, why they do it. And, they'll try to point fingers in the other direction. Oh, I need help. I'm female bashing. Sorry about that. I got a lot of Facebook notifications. Anytime you tell the truth on a black woman, they'll say you're female bashing. You don't know what you're talking about. You have a lot of hate towards women. You need to seek therapy. As if I would take advice from someone who hates themselves. If I know there's someone who hates themselves, they hate their skin tone, they hate their hair, they hate their personality, they hate that they're not looked upon in the media as being better than white women. Why would I take your advice if you say I need mental therapy when the whole world has a problem with you, the black woman? That's where most of the complaints and reports are coming from around the world, and especially around the country, in the U.S., United States, Western world, right? All right, so now to get off on a tangent, this video is probably going to be entitled The Madea Complex. The Madea Complex, how black women continue to be molded by the media, the Madea Complex. And I just want to talk about, touch on the Tyler Perry movies and how they have a big impact on black women and how black women love to see a black man dressed up as a woman, which is very weird as well. And by understanding this concept, you will understand fully why we have the black diesel dykes that are taking the black male's place in the black community. They're kind of like the head of household, But first and foremost, I want to just talk to you about, to show you how all this nonsense first started, how the media has pretty much been molding the black community to be in last place, socioeconomically. um, and pretty much molding the black race into being uh, a uh, a group that really can't compete with other races because we're so outside of the norm. I'll first start with the black exploitation movies that were created in the '70s, and a lot of those black exploitation movies I caught up on this summer. Movies like The Mac and black exploitation. For those of you who don't know, are pretty much there were movies made. Well, the first time I think TV came out around the '50s, and you only had about three channels. Blacks weren't really in movies or entertainment at all. Black faces in TV scared the average middle class white family. So we were kept out. If there was a black in a movie or a film, then they were only in the movie or film as an actor for a short period of time before they were killed off, right? So in the '70s, the black exploitation movement started, and these movies were tailor based around the concept of the inner city. Blacks, how they lived in the inner city. For the first time in history, you had movies where the majority of the cast were black characters, and black characters were the heroes. So this is the good part of black exploitation movies. Black characters not only lasted to the end of the movie, so they weren't killed midway in the movie, but they're oftentimes heroes, and a lot of times they went against other white groups and prevailed and won. And some of these movies were decent movies, man. I watched them during the summer. And Quentin Tarantino, for those of you who don't know who he is, he was a kind of like a spinoff of Spike Lee. He was during the '90s. They had smaller production independent production movie labels. He kind of had his own movie label. He came out with movies like Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, other classics, right? A few vampire movies, Jackie Brown in 1997, right? He's a big fan of black exploitation movies, and those black exploitation movies, pretty much, man, they had some blacks were heroes. Pam Grier was in a few black exploitation movies. A very fine sister who was in movies back when black females were considered fine. When they actually were fine, they had the afro. They didn't have a perm. Black females didn't have the weave. They had the afro, right, which the brothers taught them how to grow, and they had a nice, sexy body. They weren't overweight. They were the same size as a lot of other women, right? That was before all the fat kicked in, right? And these black exploitation movies, they're very good movies, man. Some of them were like I watched the past June of this year. I caught up on a lot of black exploitation movies, like The Mac, where you had great comedians like Richard Pryor. He was in The Mac with Goldie, a good movie. 110th Street. There was a few of them, man. Shaft. A few that don't come to mind now. Coffee with Pam Grier. There are a number of black exploitation movies, man, that were actually they had some good actors, pretty good movies, pretty good soundtracks. But the one bad thing about black exploitation movies is a lot of the black community's complaints were that they stereotyped the inner city and the ghetto, things of that nature, right? And they pretty much talked about drugs, and this is when the drugs pretty much were very much there in the '70s. There were a lot of drugs being pumped in the black and brown communities, the black and Hispanic communities, right? So it was something that blacks could identify with, but A lot of these movies, they were stereotypical. They were built on stereotypes, right? So a lot of blacks, and there was a lot of pimping and hustling going on in a lot of these movies. Uh, one movie called Trick Baby. I think that was inspired from a book from I think it was either Donald Goins or let me see. I forgot my man's name. My man who made the movie. You guys can help me out with this. He made the autobiography of a pimp. He talked about his Iceberg Slim. I think it might have been either originated from. It might have been originated from one of Iceberg Slim's books. But it was called Pimp Baby. I'm sorry, not Pimp Baby, Trick Baby. And it was a movie, another black exploitation movie. I like it. Very good movie, but these movies were built off of stereotypes, showing how the inner city was all about, cons, pimping, dope selling, hustling, things of that nature, man. Superfly. The new Superfly is a spinoff of the old Superfly. And I think in Minister Society they mentioned the actor who actually played in Superfly. So it was all about, most of the black exploitation movies were all about, I think Ron O'Neal played Superfly. So they were all based on pimping, hustling, conning. So a lot of stereotypes in these movies, right? And a lot of blacks felt like they had to emulate these movies. Just like later on you had the gangster rap era. A lot of those gangster rap artists are talking about stuff that they saw in black exploitation movies. This is what I didn't see when I was a kid listening to Ice Cube. When Ice Cube talked about Iceberg Slim, I had no idea who Iceberg Slim was, but like in that song called "Who's the Mac" by Ice Cube, he said, unlike Iceberg Slim and all of them claiming to be PIMP, no, I ain't going out that way. I'm just a straight up NIGGA. So next time you get over on a fool and you call yourself being real cool, take Ice Cube. Thank Ice Cube for giving you the facts. Now ask yourself, who's the Mac? And I was thinking these guys grew up seeing this, but a lot of times too, Ice Cube, aka O'Shea Jackson, the Mac is based a movie, a black exploitation movie was called The Mac that Richard Pryor played in. Iceberg Slim, some black, and the Mac was a black exploitation movie. Iceberg Slim, I believe black exploitation movie was made off of his books. Like I think Trick Baby was made off of one of his books. So a lot of these quote unquote rappers were talking about black exploitation movies that were made from books written by Iceberg Slim, Donald Goins, XYZ, and a third. So what's my point? My point is, to make a long story short, a lot of these rappers were talking about stuff not exactly from they were talking about, they were rhyming not exactly from what they lived, but from what they read about in books, or from what, because a lot of the books were made into movies. So they were rapping about black exploitation movies that came out in the 70s. So when a lot of the generation before me, my mother's generation was talking about, when they talk about rap being bullshit, this and that, a lot of that bullshit rap was based off of black exploitation movies that my parents grew up on. I repeat, a lot of that, the rap, because some of the rap, even when I was growing up, was bullshit. That bullshit, the gangster rap, a lot of that was based off of the black exploitation movies that were made in the 70s. So a lot of the rap I was growing up on in the 90s was based upon the black exploitation movies that were made in the 70s. Didn't know until later on. At 40, I'm just now putting this shit together by watching the blaxploitation movies, right? So, what's my point? My point being, blaxploitation movies, they at some people at a certain level, at one point, they thought that the movies, right, were a reflection of reality. So it was the movies, art imitating life. However, in a lot of ways, it was art influencing life because it was propaganda. Okay, they were taking certain components that were true, and expanding those, and turning characters into caricatures. And what I mean by that is this. So, say for example, I make a movie about pimping, right? And say that now say for example, I want to talk about pimping in the black community. Now, there is pimping going on in the black community, say in the 70s, because there are no businesses, there are no like laundromats and grocery stores. So the men are resorting into selling their own women. So I know I want to reach the people by speaking about pimping that's going on in the black community. However, I overdo that. I say, okay, where half the people are pimps, and then they walk like this, and then they have, and they're ruthless, they're heartless, they dog their women out. I add all of this into the mix. That's what propaganda means. It's half truths. So, in other words, I'm taking half truths, and I'm making my own package and selling it to the masses. So I'm not taking the truth. I'm taking half truths, blowing those up like you do, like I was talking about earlier in my other videos, caricatures, where you'll draw Tom Cruise. You'll take somebody's faults and blow them up times 10. So if Tom Cruise has big teeth, they'll have a picture of Tom Cruise, but he'll smile and his teeth will be almost bigger than the picture. That's a caricature. So that's what a lot of these white folks were doing. They were, examining the black community, talking about certain ills and ailments, but blowing those up, magnifying those elements and saying, this is how it really is. They were over-exaggerating and saying, this is how it really is. And the over-exaggeration, they're trying to turn that into the norm. So every black's a pimp, and every black's a cruel pimp, and every woman was beaten, and that was a part of that feminist era, where they were able to demonize men. So blaxploitation influenced my mother's generation. Now fast forward to the Tyler Perry movies, right? Sorry it took so long to get to the point, but I'm trying to get through all of this stuff. So, the Tyler Perry movies are kind of like a spin-off to blaxploitation, except now they're trying to make the females, turn them into masculine monsters. So Tyler Perry has been making pretty much movies since 2005. He's been doing plays as well, because my ex used to take me to Tyler Perry plays before I even knew who he was back in 2005, right? 2004, 2005. She was taking me to plays because he was doing plays first. Then his plays turned into movies. Then he created this character called Madea, where he dressed up as a transsexual, right? Become a Madea. And Madea is supposed to be a woman, but has nothing but masculine characteristics. She always talks. She never shuts the fuck up. She chases people with guns, all type of crazy shit, right? And you can tell it's a man, and Tyler Perry is one of the highest paid actors. Why? Because of the character Madea, right? So this Madea character, at first it started off with the character being a no nonsense, no jive taking, black woman who's strong, assertive. Now, strong and assertive means loud and obnoxious, right? That has nothing to do with females being strong. Okay, that's where black females make a mistake. They think being strong is being loud and obnoxious. No, being strong is being quiet and feminine. But I'll get back to that in a minute, right? So he starts out in 2005. 2006, Madea goes to blah, 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 right? Madea's family reunion, right? Okay. Then he gets to Madea goes to jail, right? Right? Hold on. Right? He gets to Madea goes to jail. So now this transvestite, Tyler Perry, Madea, right, gets locked up. Still loud talking, foul mouth, loud talking, obnoxious, chase you with a gun, always talking. She's the hero of every play, and they turn these Tyler Perry Madea plays into movies, right? He had the fake tits, everything, right? And I think he says in the article that he feels more comfortable dressed up like a woman. Because when he actually acts and he's not Madea, he sucks. He puts so much emphasis. When he's Madea, he puts his heart into his work. When he's not dressed when he's not dressed in drag, he doesn't try as hard. I've seen him in movies where he wasn't dressed in drag. No, I keep saying jag. I'm sorry. Drag. He has movies where when he's not dressed up as a woman, he does not try nearly as hard in terms of acting. That's why he's not nearly as entertaining. If you want to see Tyler Perry's best, you have to see him dressed up as a chick. I repeat, if you want to see Tyler Perry's best, he has to be dressed up like a woman. That should tell you something, right? That is disgusting, right? So here's the thing. In like around 2008-9, Madea goes to jail. So now the transvestite who plays the black woman, right? Not saying that they're not certain aspects of the black woman that has become aggressive by this time. But you tell me, is it art imitating life or life imitating art? Think about it. Now she goes to jail. So it started out Madea's family reunion. Cool. You know, she just stands up for the family. You know, she stands up against the men. Men have no chance against Madea, right? So the strong black female, right? Totally masculine, right? Then some years later, Madea goes to jail. So now she's incarcerated. And now even that's funny. Black woman does not even realize what's going on. So now Madea goes to jail. Okay, so now she's incarcerated, right? Now, and then you see an upswing in what? Black females being incarcerated. Huh? Okay. What's next? Madea's about fast forward to 2010. So 2006, 2008, Madea goes to jail somewhere around there. 2009. Then what happens? Madea's Halloween. Right? Every other year there's a Madea movie. Every time there's a Madea movie, Tyler Perry gets paid. He's one of the highest paid actors. Huh? He's one of the highest paid actors. All he does is dress up like a chick. Okay? So, because back when I was growing up in the 90s, you had, what was it? Singleton, who made Boys in the Hood. You had Spike Lee, these directors, right? Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Dead Presidents, so on and so forth. Okay? Now, if it's black, all you have is these Madea movies. Black man dressing up as a transvestite. Okay, not to get off topic. Now, what's after? Okay, Madea's Halloween. Boo, right? Now, Madea's Halloween Part 2, something very unique. I noticed this in the when they have the film. Whenever you go to the movies, you see the picture that represents the film. And Medea's Boo Part 2 or Medea's Halloween Part 2, she's holding two machetes across her chest, just like Jason. So you said, well, Ray, he said, the author, what does this have to do with anything? The two swords across the chest, right? Two swords across the chest, like Jason. Now, Medea's Halloween, the Boo. Now the black woman is a monster. I swear to Christ, Jason has the same picture, pretty similar, where you'll see not Nightmare, Friday the 13th. Jason has almost the same picture on one of his movies, where I think it's Friday the 13th, part 8 or 9, where he has the machete. She has two machetes. So Madea goes from Medea's family picnic to Madea goes to jail to Medea's Boo Halloween. So you're standing up, you're going to jail, and now they're saying what they always wanted to say: you're a black woman, you're a monster. Two machetes like this. Go check it out. Two machetes like this with Madea, just like a monster. Because Jason, don't get it twisted. Jason is a killer, man. Jason is a monster, man. He kills, decapitates, impales. He kills anything in his path. That's what they said about the black woman. When they have that transvestite Tyler Perry, who becomes Madea with the two swords across the chest, that is calling a black woman a monster. Huh? You're a monster. And they don't even see that shit. Yet, they try to follow a lot of black... Because I read an article, Tyler Perry says that he regrets that whites are not checking out his Madea films. Like he wants a wider white audience. So what does that tell you? Black females are supporting the Madea, and his movies are making millions, man. And white people aren't even checking them out. So black females are making him rich, and all he's doing is making fun of them. Huh? He says he wants he said in the article, he wants a wider white audience. So that means white people aren't checking out the Medeas. It's black females. Because black dudes don't really care about that shit. My ex took me. I didn't even know who he was in 2005. She used to pay for my ticket. Huh? When he was doing the stage shows. Plays. It was Madea plays first. Then they turned those plays into movies. I used to see him live. And my ex, her and her girlfriend, they were a bit older than me. They didn't tell me anything. They just bought my ticket and took me. And it'll be me, and they were twins, and it'll be both of them, and we'll be going to a play. I didn't know shit about it. They made the decision between themselves. Two college educated chicks. And don't get me wrong, I was with her for a long period of time, but they didn't tell me shit. And they brought me to the plays. And I used to watch them, and I didn't even know who this dude was until years later. I said, what the fuck? I used to watch that dude in plays. I saw a few of his plays in 2004 and 5 before he blew up. And what he's doing, that he has done, is influencing black women. Black women are trying to mirror that poor behavior and making it into their own. That type of behavior is making black women want to be more masculine, more competitive against men, less feminine, meaning they can't maintain, they can't cook clean, they cannot maintain the household. They want to be Madea. Take a little sip, man. A little break. And this video is going a lot longer than I planned, but black women idolize the transvestite. They idolize Madea. They want to be Madea. And that some of that attitude was always brewing, but the Madea character added on layers that wasn't even there. But black women want to copy that. They're so destroyed. They're supporting Tyler Perry by themselves. Whites aren't even checking out Madea movies, man. Because he's one of the highest paid actors and still complaining that whites won't check out his movies. Black females are putting him on top. Huh? Damn shame. And all he's doing is calling them jailbirds and monsters. And don't get it fucked up. His script, he claims to be the director, but what he does, his scripts are written before he even comes out with his plays. You will not have a hit movie unless America approves of it first. I repeat, you won't be anywhere near the highest paid actor unless America looks at your transcript. America, the elites, looks at your transcript and approves of it. And then you're getting that rich. Only blacks are watching you, because if whites aren't watching you, let's be real, man. Let's be real for a second. If whites are watching you, a lot of times other races will follow. Asians, Arabs, so on and so forth. So if whites aren't watching, the other races probably aren't watching either. So he's being single-handedly held up, primarily, not saying a few other members of other races are watching, but primarily he's being held up and supported by black women. He's making a mockery of black women. And they're following his prototype that he has laid out in his plays. And his plays have become movies. So life is imitating art. They got him. Boom. Life is imitating art, man. They've been doing this for a long, long, long time. And black women is falling for it hook, line, and sinker. That's one of the reasons why black women always make the wrong choices with men. Because in blaxploitation movies, the men, now it wasn't like this before, but blaxploitation movies, the men were the main dudes in the blaxploitation movies who were great were the pimps, the thieves, the con artists, and the hustlers. That's why the average dude, that's why black women was like, well, yeah, a lot of black men are abandoning us. Well, yeah, because you were conned, the con man, the pimp, and the hustler. They con you to make you think they have something going on. And you're programmed to like con men. So you pick all the wrong black men to get with. I told this one female on Facebook, just think about how many regular dudes stepped to you, and because he didn't have some type of con going on, he didn't have the nicest shoes or clothes or a car that he rented. Because Raz Kass made a song about how you can dupe black women into sleeping with you without even having wealth. He said you gotta. Raz Kass on his first, I think it was Soul on Ice, his first album, which was Soul on Ice, is titled after Eldridge Cleaver's book Soul on Ice. So he took that title, just like Lauryn Hill took the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. She took that from this other author. I forget the brother's name, man. Carter G. Woodson. But yeah, man. he took that time and he was talking about it. Unless you want to be celibate, you need to lie to these females. And one of the songs he had on that album. So brothers know how to lie and game these females, and they wonder why, oh, black men ain't shit. No, the ones that you picking aren't shit because you're programmed to pick the ones who aren't shit, the ones who are gaming your ass. You want to be gamed subconsciously. It's deep, bro. But I did not want to go this long because most of my videos don't go this long. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell, share. If you have any comments, let me know. Any questions, so I can do follow-up videos. I appreciate all the love and the support. And again, this is your main man, the author, and your boy is out.